I've paid that price in my nation. I know more than you could ever think. I have met all manner of wickedness, not from Muslims, not from devil worshippers, not from non-believers, from our spirit-filled, tongue-speaking believers.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Fire Hub. It's so great to have you back here. You know, I have been very blessed with the ministry of Apostle Grace Lubega, but you know, in this video, he touches a bit of church history, and he was able to talk about some of the struggles he has had being a grace preacher, and it's so sad for me to just see that, and I begin to ask myself, why is the grace message being fought this way? Why is the grace message being fought this way? Why is it difficult for people to actually accept the grace message? One of the truths that has really struck me as I begin to ponder on this is that the fallen man has something in him that makes him believe, because that was the consequence of the actions of the man that made him fall. That particular thing in him makes him believe that he can only gain anything worthwhile by works. So when you start teaching that Jesus came and he died for you, redeeming you, when you start teaching redemption by the blood, when you start teaching the forgiveness of sins, when you start teaching justification through faith, you are not striking the right chord, because man knows somehow that whatever he doesn't work for, he doesn't deserve. But grace is just saying, believe that for whosoever who call on the name of the Lord, he or she will be saved. No, that doesn't resonate with the fallen man in his nature, because he believes that for whatever, listen carefully again, that for whatsoever he must aim, that is worth it must be through works. But grace says no. But that is just to buttress a point, because this video is not about that. This video is about Apostle Grace Lubega, as it just takes us a little on church history and the experiences some men had as a result of teaching the grace message. Please listen.
John Wycliffe, this wonderful reformer, he had issues with the Catholic Church, questioning their practices, advocating for the translation of the Bible. But most importantly, John Wycliffe came with a very dangerous doctrine called justification through faith. Simple, justification through faith. And the church rose against him, persecuted him to the time of death. And as some of you who have read history, in a symbolic act of posthumous punishment, in 1400, the Council of Constance sat and judged the dead man, and they exhumed his body and burnt the remains, because they wanted to show the whole world that it doesn't matter whether he is alive or dead, the law will still work on him. At what level does a man get to even want to burn the bones of the remains of a human being? How much wrath or anger? What were they dealing with? What was disturbing their spirits against John Wycliffe? Simple doctrine, justification through faith. His student John Hus comes through, encounters the works of John Wycliffe. He understands justification through faith. And then he started speaking the very message of John Wycliffe. They invite him in a small meeting as of to talk to this wonderful Czech theologian. Tell us, indulge us, why are you teaching this thing? Humbly they bring him in. The moment he was done finished, the very people judge him and take him out for the whole world to see, and they burnt him to stake. That man was not burnt because he was caught with a woman in adultery. That man was not burnt because he stole church money. He was not burnt because he killed somebody. He was burnt because he preached a simple doctrine, justification through faith. Martin Luther later on comes, picks what killed John Hus, picks what killed John Wycliffe, goes on the Wittenberg Church. The 95-page thesis is nailed on the door. What is the title? Justification through faith. They start looking for him. It was a man called Frederick the Wise, who literally had to hire men to kidnap, because Martin was not ready to move. He hired men to kidnap him And they kidnapped him as they would kidnap anybody. And then they hid him somewhere in the WOFBEC castle. That's the only reason why his life was preserved. How many martyrs have been murdered because they are teaching justification through faith? Ask me.
Welcome back, everyone. You know, it's so sad. It's so sad to hear that for any reason someone was burnt to stake. It's so sad. For any reason. You know, Apostle Grace was asking a question, and it's good to also ask ourselves that question. What was it? Was it just because some persons were in power and they felt like what this other person is saying is threatening them? What was it what was so threatening? What was so frightening about what this man was saying that they had to be burnt? It's just what I said when we introduced this video. They felt like, oh, you want to just give everybody the right to just live anyhow, commit sin, and say, okay, Jesus has helped us. So, but you know, until you understand the grace message, this will continue to be an issue. It will continue to be an issue. The church history we have in our hands, you can Google this, it's very dark. But I want it to resonate or strike something. What I want it to strike in your heart is that what you are enjoying today is the sacrifices many persons put in place in order for you to enjoy it. So don't take it for granted. And this will now take me to the second point. What are you doing? What are you doing? What sacrifice are you putting in place to make sure that the gospel of grace is preserved? Now, beyond that, is what you are doing enough? You know, a lot of persons will be like, oh, I'm tired. The persecution is too much. Brother, sister, I want to remind you, somebody was burnt to stake for preaching the gospel of grace. So whatever you are seeing now, if you are alive, is not enough. It is not enough. Church history is dark, but it should strike something to your spirit that you are not alone in the sufferings of the teaching of the gospel of grace. And kudos to you if you're giving the right balance. Kudos to you if you're teaching the right balance. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I want to believe this video has blessed you. Please kindly click on the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed, and turn on the notification so that for every time we post a new video, you'll be one of the first to get that notification. Thank you and stay blessed.